Costco wants to sell you things as cheaply as possible. So how does it still make billions? Think about that for a second. A company that built its reputation around low prices, huge quantities, and relatively small margins has become one of the most powerful retailers in the world. In fiscal 2025, Costco generated about $270 billion in net sales, and by the third quarter of fiscal 2026, it had 82.9 million paid members. But here's the strange part. Costco doesn't operate like a normal retailer. The stores aren't designed to look luxurious. The product selection is deliberately limited. The merchandise is often sitting on pallets, and before you can even shop, Costco asks you to pay for a membership. So why would millions of people willingly pay to shop somewhere that looks more like a warehouse than a traditional store? And more importantly, how does this strange system make so much money? The answer isn't one secret, it's a machine. And once you understand how the pieces connect, Costco starts looking very different. Let's start with the part that most retailers don't have, the membership. Imagine walking into a store and being told, before you can buy anything, give us money. Most retailers would lose customers immediately. Costco built an entire business around it, and that decision changes everything. You're no longer just a customer, you're a member. And that psychological difference matters, because once you've paid for a membership, you have a reason to keep using it. You want to feel like you're getting your money's worth. You might walk into Costco because you need paper towels, but now you're also looking for the other deals that justify the membership, and that's where the system starts feeding itself. Now look at the scale. By the third quarter of fiscal 2026, Costco had approximately 82.9 million paid members, and its US and Canada renewal rate was approximately 92.2%. That is an extraordinary level of customer retention, but here's where people sometimes misunderstand the business. You might think, so Costco just makes all of its money from membership fees. Not exactly. Membership fees are extremely important, but they're only one part of the machine. The real advantage is what the membership allows Costco to build. And that takes us to one of the strangest things about Costco. It doesn't want to sell you everything. In fact, it deliberately limits the number of products it carries. Think about a normal supermarket. You walk down an aisle looking for cereal. You might see dozens of brands. Now walk into Costco. The selection is much more controlled. Why would a retailer deliberately give customers fewer choices? Because fewer choices can make the entire operation more efficient. And there's something else happening. Costco can concentrate enormous purchasing volume. That gives it purchasing power. Imagine you're a supplier. One retailer wants to buy a small number of your products. Another retailer says, we want an enormous quantity. Which customer has more leverage? The second one. And that's one of the foundations of Costco's model. More volume can create better purchasing economics, and those economics can help Costco maintain lower prices. So the system starts looking like this. Limited selection leads to concentrated purchasing, which supports high volume, which helps Costco negotiate, which supports lower prices. But we're still missing something, because selling products cheaply isn't enough. You have to operate cheaply too. And that's where the warehouse itself becomes part of the strategy. Look around a Costco, you don't see elaborate luxury displays. You see huge warehouses, industrial shelving, products stacked on pallets, simple presentation. Every unnecessary expense eventually has to be paid for somehow. Fancy displays cost money, complex store layouts cost money. Costco's environment is designed around efficiency. Get products into the warehouse, get them onto the floor, get them into customers' carts, and move them out. The store doesn't have to look expensive, it has to work. And its US and Canada renewal rate was approximately 92.2%. But here's where the economics get even more interesting. Costco's model relies heavily on volume and rapid inventory turnover. Store B makes a smaller margin, but sells huge quantities very quickly. That's the Costco philosophy. Lower margin, higher volume, faster movement. In its latest reported fiscal results, Costco's merchandise gross margin was around 11%. Costco isn't trying to be luxury retail, it's playing a different game: volume, efficiency, membership, and scale. Now let's talk about one of Costco's most important weapons, Kirkland Signature. If you've ever shopped at Costco, you've probably seen it. Food, clothing, household products. Kirkland isn't simply another brand. It's Costco's private label brand, giving them greater control over economics. Think about what happens when a customer trusts Kirkland. They don't just trust the product, they become more comfortable shopping at Costco, and that creates another loop that's powerful. But Costco has another interesting psychological advantage. The treasure hunt. You may walk into Costco looking for one thing, but you don't know exactly what you're going to find. And that uncertainty can make shopping more engaging. You're not simply checking items off a list, you're exploring. And that creates a very different shopping experience. Then Costco adds another layer. Executive membership. Members can pay a higher annual fee to upgrade. In the United States, that membership includes a 2% reward on qualifying purchases. Now think about the psychology. The more you spend, the more valuable the reward, and that creates another feedback loop. More spending, more value, more reason to return. None of these strategies exists in isolation. In fiscal 2025, Costco generated approximately $269.9 billion in net sales. It generated approximately $5.3 billion from membership fees and reported approximately $8.1 billion in net income. The interesting part isn't simply how big those numbers are, it's how Costco gets there. It isn't relying on enormous markups, it's relying on scale. Costco thinks more like a system designer. The genius isn't simply that Costco sells things cheaply. The genius is that they've built a system where low prices, high volume, and loyalty reinforce each other. Costco is building a shopping habit. This is Discover Insight. We explore the psychology, strategies, and technologies shaping the world beneath the surface. Subscribe to Discover Insight because there's always more happening beneath the surface.